You won't believe what happened the night she yelled it. My wife Claire standing in our living room, red lipstick perfect, stiletto heels echoing like a countdown, screaming, I'm going alone because you never. She didn't finish. She didn't need to. I knew exactly where she was going. Jason's party. That single sentence detonated everything. My name is Daniel. I'm 35, a construction project manager, calloused hands, early mornings, quiet pride. I married Claire 7 years ago when she was a hopeful graphic designer with more talent than cash. I backed her through student loans, late night pitches, and the heartbreaks that come with a struggling creative life. Claire was magnetic, dark hair that fell to her shoulders, green eyes that used to look at me like I was the only man in the world. Somewhere along the line, her gaze changed. It started as little lies. Work dinners became weekend disappearances. Her phone, once a casual open book, turned secretive. And then Jason returned, the one she described as toxic years ago, the man who had haunted old stories and broken promises. Seeing him back in her orbit felt like a slap. When she stormed out that night, I followed, not to beg, but to witness. Jason's car was waiting, black and polished, his grin smug as ever. Claire slid in without a backward glance. The engine roared, and the life I thought I had vanished down the street. I didn't call friends. I didn't cry. I planned. Revenge had to be surgical. Not loud, not petty, but undeniable. While she danced under neon lights, I dug. Our cloud backups, our joint account, everything was synced. Flirty texts, explicit photos, hotel charges, dinner tabs. She'd been careless. I saved everything, time-stamped and cold as proof. But I wanted more than proof. I wanted public reckoning. I crafted a plan to hit her at her most fragile point, the people and image she depended on. First, I compiled the messages and charges into a timeline. Then I created an anonymous email and sent it to every inbox that mattered. Her parents, her agency, her biggest clients, and yes, Jason's friends. I attached clean screenshots and bank records, and I included a short message, read the timeline. The fallout was immediate. Her agency called an emergency meeting. Her parents, those who had always sniffed at me for being blue-collar, texted with icy silence. Jason's friends sent her curt goodbyes. Within 24 hours, Claire went from glossy Insta stories to a woman frantically deleting profiles and begging for explanations. She came home at dawn, shoes off, mascara streaked, eyes wild. Not because of guilt, because she realized the fortress around her had been undermined. I walked her through the timeline calmly, showing dates, receipts, screenshots. She tried to laugh, to charm, to cry. None of it worked. Her apology sounded like rehearsed lines. But I wasn't through. For the final blow, I did something she'd never expect. I leaked a carefully edited but accurate video to her top client, a montage of her admitting things on voice notes, intercut with messages and evidence of her betrayal. Her contract was terminated that afternoon. Her brand deals evaporated overnight. The woman who used to post glamorous flat lays and sponsored content was now a cautionary tale in messages forwarded across group chats and industry Slack channels. Jason? He bolted the minute his feed filled with screenshots connecting him to Claire's fall. He was a ghost. No calls, no loyalty, just the kind of man who takes warmth and leaves when the stove goes cold. Her friends, embarrassed and protective of their own reputations, distanced themselves. When she finally exploded, yelled I'd ruined her life, I stood still. I had no joy in her ruin, only a cold peace. I told her quietly, you wanted to feel alive. You wanted to be admired and desired. I gave you that chance, and you traded it for someone else's empty promises. I filed for divorce with the evidence in hand. The legal fight was clean. The truth was a blunt instrument. I kept the house, the car, and most of the savings. The rest evaporated into legal fees and reputational damage. Claire was left to rebuild from scratch. No brand deals, no agency support, parents disappointed, and no Jason when the warmth ran out. Months later, I saw her on a city street. No makeup, hair limp from rain, her phone buzzing with notifications that no one answered. She glanced up, eyes red, and mouthed, Daniel. I nodded once, then turned away. Revenge, I learned, isn't about public humiliation for its own sake. It's about dismantling the scaffolding someone used to walk over you, carefully, legally, and without losing yourself. I reclaimed my life, my dignity, and my peace. She'd wanted to feel alive. She got the wake-up call. If you liked the video, please subscribe and turn on notifications for more.